Hello? Where am I? Oh right, we're in the Institute. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4. We have finally made it to the Institute, and things seem eerily quiet around here. There's no one here but us. There's a computer terminal. View access log. Okay, signal rerouted. That was useful, wasn't it? Let's, hello?
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
Alright, I guess we're going to see this father guy. We gotta figure out where Sean is.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
I am. Where is Sean? Show me Sean. A lot of elevators, right? Sean? Sean?
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Yes, it's me, your dad. I'm here, Sean.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh, it'll be okay, Sean. I'm here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
Oh, come on! That's crazy.
I assure you, I am completely sane and entirely honest. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
60 years. So much time. Wasted.
I know. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum.
And that's a
The
good point,
Institute
honestly.
took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? He just straight up shot her, dude.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
What would you have me say? The world is a dangerous place? Although I think maybe it always was. It's just a bit more honest about it now. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
So one thing you gotta know about this, you can actually lock yourself out of a settlement from this decision. If you say yes, and you aren't working with the railroad, then you will not be able to get Bunker Hill as a settlement. To get Bunker Hill, you either have to work with the railroad and do the Battle of Bunker Hill quest, or you have to refuse working with the Institute. I'm going to say yes, because there are some side quests I want to do here, and if you say no, you just gotta leave the Institute and you can't do anything else here. But actually, I'm gonna say I don't know, because that kind of puts off the decision for a little bit.
I just don't know.
Just give it time. Give the Institute a chance. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
It's also worth noting that, fuck, what was I gonna say? If you say no, you have to leave the Institute, and you can't work with them. If you say yes, you're gonna start the Institute main line, but I don't think you can leave on your own until you finish this quest, either by saying yes or no. So since we said that we don't know and we're kind of putting it off, I'm just kind of stuck here right now until I talk to him. In fact, I think if I want to...
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child?
Oh, this is something
It's a
different.
fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why build it to look like you?
We'd advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records on my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
This is all... it's just too much. I just don't know anymore.
I understand. You've been through quite a lot. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
I'm pretty sure, like, can't we talk to him and just agree right
Sean?
now?
Our advances will, in time, change the world.
Okay, no, yeah, since we said we don't know, we're putting off the decision. We just can't leave at all right now. We have to go meet the division leaders. Which I think we do that through here. I don't know, this whole place is kind of a winding, maze, you know? You see, we have four different objectives here to go to. And do we go through here, or do we go through... It feels weird that we access the Institute by going through the main guy's office, right? But we didn't stop there. I feel like we should stop in the middle there. Right? Can I stop and go down? No? Okay, we're going back up, I guess. Hooray. A lot of elevators, right? Yeah, that's just gonna lead back outside. So I think there's another elevator through his office, or his little living area, whatever you call it. Which again, I think it's kind of weird. You have to access the rest of the Institute through his office. But it is what it is. Gotta love these elevator rides, right? Oh, now we stop here. Now we've stopped here in the middle. Okay. That works. Alright, so let's start with the one right in front of us.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary
Ali
drive
Fillmore.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks again.
Of course.
We
He
don't
didn't actually
usually
say
welcome
anything.
outsiders. I hope you can appreciate your good fortune.
Hey,
We're all
Doc.
looking
They
forward
weren't
to
kidding.
working with you.
You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Ali Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
What makes you ask? I'm a complete stranger to you.
I suppose when I heard your story, I felt sorry for you. You've suffered more tragedy than any one person deserves. Your whole world is gone. I'm sorry. I know that was a very personal question. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
I'm just looking around.
I see. Well, please do mind what you touch. Sensitive equipment here, not like topside. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it.
Okay, I guess that was the only question I get to ask
Allie.
you.
Hi there. Something I can help you with?
I'd like to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor.
I
Dr.
hate
Fillmore.
when it boots
Hey,
me out of a
what do you need?
conversation after one topic.
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
I kind of want to know.
Dr. Fillmore.
What's on your mind?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Okay, I guess that's it from her. Let's go to whatever this one is. This is bioscience. This one might be an interesting one. I think this is where they make the synths.
Not yet.
No, this is
I've been reviewing
plants.
Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. And those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Doc.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of studies such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm not sure. Right now, I'm just trying to keep an open mind.
It's a big decision, I know. but it's also a rare and important opportunity. No need to rush to judgment. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed.
Oh, he does it too.
Great.
He just walks
Anything I
off.
can help you with?
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that.
Alright, I'm gonna hold off on asking him if he needs any help, because that'll probably be a side quest that I want to get into next time, or the time after.
Glad you made it.
These are the gorillas, by the way. They have made synthetic gorillas. And apparently they are aggressive. Who would have thought? But those are kind of cool. It makes you think, like, everyone here is really kind, you know? Like, other than Father, none of them are really pushing us to join the Institute. They're just like, oh, you need time to think about it? Go for it, man. We're here, and if you don't want to, it's no problem. And then they have all this technology and everything. And it's, they're making gorillas and stuff. It's like, they are a really viable option for the future of mankind.
She's
Going
been
into
for 2 hours.
advanced
What is she even testing?
Nothing.
science or
At this point,
robotics or
she's just doing it for
something.
fun.
She's just shooting. Okay. I don't know who that is. Who are you? Oh, Rosalind Orman. We'll probably talk to her later for some kind of quest. Oh, this is Dr. Lee. We have a side quest to do with her for the Brotherhood.
That was productive.
A returning character from Fallout 3.
Dr. Lee.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
I was told to be here.
Authorized to be where? What is this place?
You're standing in the Advanced Systems Division, and you are not a part of my staff. If you want a tour of the place, why don't you ask Father, seeing that he's apparently given you the keys to the castle. Now, can I get back to work?
What are you working on?
There's no getting rid of you, is there? You're obviously here for a reason, and you've already spoiled my experiment, so you might as well spit it out.
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find a way to intercept our teleport signal, and now you show up at my door. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
I'm only here with good intentions. You have my word.
You're giving me your word, even though we just met? Fine. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs my help. Why? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
Did you abandon any projects you wanted to complete?
You should know better than to ask me that. If they didn't tell you what I was working on, they didn't want you to know. I'm certainly not going to put my neck on the line and spread their dirty little secrets. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
He trusts you because you're family. I'm not. I can't just take your word for it. I need more than that.
The Brotherhood has always been straight with you.
I am getting a bit tired of all the secrets around here. Sometimes I feel like Father isn't being straight with me. Like there are things I'm not supposed to know about. I don't like that. But still, how can I turn my back on all of this?
Your work could be instrumental in freeing the Commonwealth.
You really know how to push my buttons, don't you? You know, I never understood why the Institute was so damn selfish. All those innocent people up there, dying. And here I am surrounded by technology that could make their lives better. Yet we hide down here and insulate ourselves from everything and everyone. It's not right. It's not right. I'll make my way back to the Brotherhood. But I'm going to have to do it on my own. I can't take any chances being seen with you. Tell whoever sent you that they've just regained the services of Dr. Madison Lee. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A Courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us. Now, I need to get back to work, and I'm sure you have other things to do.
And now we are the only person other than the coursers that can willingly go to and from the Institute. So, like, they really trust us here with that kind of thing. I'm trying to tell you guys, like, the Institute doesn't seem too bad. Like, they're a little misguided. They're scientists, and I think that's the whole idea. Misguided science. Science without a leash, that kind of thing.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do.
Welcome to the Institute, sir.
Scanning
Right.
unknown identity.
Oh, clearance confirmed. I just kind of walked in without him finishing that.
Carry on, sir.
To knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package
Dude,
upgrades I
please,
asked for.
please,
Maybe I
dude,
should take
get
some
out
courses
of
with
my
me.
way.
Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana?
Excuse
My
me.
methods get results, and they will this time as well.
Pardon me, sir.
You'll see.
Right, so this is Justin Ayo. He's like the main guy in charge of making synths. And there should be a room somewhere here that actually
Like any
shows how
machine,
they're
synths
made.
can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
But I don't see it here. Why are these people always in my way? Move. I want to talk to this
on the
guy.
hunt are relentless. If you see one, you should stay out of its way.
Doctor.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
okay, I can't say that I used the recall code.
Why does it matter?
If there is some defect in coarser combat programming, then it must be identified and corrected. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
If you're the acting head of the SRB, who are you filling in for?
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile units. In his absence, I keep things running smoothly.
Dr. Ayo.
Yes, what is it?
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
Justin.
What do you want? And please, make it quick.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Alright, and that's pretty much it for Ayo. We need to use the network scanner holotape. Which, do we just use that here in our Pip-Boy? Because as far as I can tell, there's not an objective marker. Let's find this. We'll play this. Internal network detected. Oh, okay, that didn't do anything. I don't know where I'm supposed to use this, actually.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Do I probably...
Operating at full capacity.
Can I just find, like, any terminal to use it on? Maybe we should go back to Father's office and use it there.
To have you here, sir.
I actually have no idea where I'm supposed to use this. There's also a terminal back by the main entrance to the Institute that we came in from. And that looks like where we're going up to. Let me just double check. Yeah, this is... It just tells us to go to the Institute, which is a fast travel location now on our map under the CIT ruins. I was going to try and look around here for Virgil's cure this episode and save a lot of the exploring of the Institute for next time. But I figured I wanted to get Institutionalized done too. And I thought that would be more or less just coming here, talking to Father and saying yes or no, but turns out I was wrong on that. We had to go talk to everyone else, and that's fine. Okay, so do we use it here? Load holotape, network scanner. Initiate network scan. Okay, we just gotta give that holotape to Proctor Ingram. Scan complete. Easy as that. And that opens up, and we have completed Institutionalized. So can we... Yeah, we can't use this to get out. How do we get out? Well, I guess we can just... Yeah, we can fast travel to and from the Institute, so... we don't need to get out anywhere specifically. So yes, we automatically get the first Institute quest there. And I think I'm gonna ignore all the main quests just so it doesn't get muddy. I'm only going to pick one of the factions to side with. You can play through the faction quest lines a little bit up to certain points, and they won't get mad at each other. But the certain points, I was trying to look at a big web of when you have to stop doing them, and it's very messy, and I get the feeling if I try and do 3 of them at once, I'm gonna end up messing something up. So I'd rather not even try that, you know? But who knows, my mind might change by the time we do that. We're almost done with the base game, honestly. The way this is gonna play out, I'll probably spend the next few episodes here in the Institute doing side quests and stuff. Again, not main quest stuff. And then we'll head back out into the Commonwealth, and there's like 7 side quests remaining that we still gotta do, so I want to knock those out. And after that, we're pretty much pushing towards the end of the game, which I'm still leaning towards the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood is the only faction I can take that I get all 4 companions at. Speaking of companion, I should have a companion here that I gotta get. Maybe I gotta do synth retention to get him. Okay, so I just looked it up real quick, and in order to get the companion here at the Institute, we do have to do their main quests up to a certain point. We have to do them up to the mass fusion quest, which I think is as far as we can go without starting to tick off factions. Mass fusion is kind of where everything kicks off for all the factions, so it's gonna be fun trying to do that without making everyone mad. My goal is to end this still with all the companions, and I have a couple of mods that'll hopefully make that happen. One of those mods that I have will also let me keep the railroad alive as well as the Brotherhood, because usually the Brotherhood destroys the railroad. And that's going to involve some new content that was sort of cut from the game. It's not in the base game, but they brought it back. So that'll be entirely new to me. But overall, it's going to start getting really interesting in this playthrough. I'm going to go ahead and end it off here. And like I said, next time, we'll start doing some quests here in the Institute. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.